Hey guys, my name is Alison Murdock, and I am a career coach for UMKC Career Services. Today's video, we are going to look through a very useful resource that we have on Handshake called Big Interview. Big Interview will allow you to practice all types of interview questions, whether they're very general questions you'll see in any interview process or more specific industry questions. There's also different types of career prep curriculum that's involved in this platform as well. So, like resume writing, along with interviewing, and a couple of other topics as well. So, let's get started. You're going to log into Handshake. So you'll visit umkc.joinhandshake.com and log in with your SSO. So your username, that first part of your email, and then your password as well. And then that should log you in as a student. You should already have an account. If you've never logged into Handshake before, you will create a profile, pretty basic profile just to begin with, but we do encourage you to continue to build your profile up so that it's pretty detailed and extensive. But for this purpose, just go ahead and build a pretty basic profile if you've never logged into Handshake before. If you have logged into Handshake, you can definitely skip that step. So once you're on the home screen, which is what I'm on currently, this is what you'll see. From here, you will go to Career Center. And then you will scroll down here and you'll go to Resources. And this is the place where we really keep all of our resources that are free to you. And there's a lot of different types of platforms on here that are really helpful, from, resume writing to quick guides to trying to figure out your major or your career, all kinds of things. So we're here at Big Interview. So you'll click on Big Interview. And then just follow the instructions here. So you'll definitely have to register. You won't be able to use your SSO to log into Big Interview, but if you register, you can pick your email and then a similar password, if not the same password, so you can remember it. So you'll click on this link. And then from here, you'll click register. I've already registered, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in, but the registration process is very easy. Okay, so I didn't have to type in my username and password because I selected the, that remember me box, so it just let me write in. But if you don't do that, then you will have to put in your username and password every time. So from here, we're now logged into Big Interview. You can see all types of things. We're really on the Learn page right now. So you'll see these different tabs up here that are going to be very useful, and they all have their own specific uses. So the Learn page is all about lessons, and there's different curriculums that you can take to really learn about, resume writing, job searching, interviewing, all kinds of things, negotiation. And so this is a really good piece, or a really good tab to kind of look through if you're wanting to learn more about different career prep topics. In terms of what we use Big Interview a lot for is that interview practice, right? And so that's up here in that practice tab. So you'll see, you can practice interviews. So you can, from here, you can go in, we'll just go ahead and look at it. You can go in and look at some general questions, industry specific, competency, skill set. So, communication questions, problem solving questions, all of those things. You have admissions questions. So, school admission school programs and like the types of admission questions that they would ask. And then we also have, government specific questions. Federal and state jobs are pretty specific in their application processes. And so resume is going to be really specific for them. And then that also, in their application process is long. And so they're, you can guess that their interview questions and process is going to be very specific as well. So that's some good practice for that. And then here they have like a nice little tab here for veterans. So fastest growing jobs for veterans and the types of questions you'll see there. And then when you scroll down, you'll see all of these different interview practice interviews that I've started. But I typically, when I am looking up questions for students for mock interviews, a lot of times I'll go through some of these interviews in the practice, or I'll come up here, which will go a little bit into where you can actually look up questions that way without having to go into the different interviews. But I like to see the types of questions that they put together for practice interviews. So that's what all of these are. But you can see your in progress practice interviews, and then you can also see your completed, which I don't have any completed at this time. All right. Now, you can also custom set. So these are custom practice interview sets that we've put together for certain courses. So if a mock interview is part of a course requirement in part of a grade or an assignment, we may work with your instructor to create specific questions for that course, and then we'll create an assignment here, which we'll give you an assignment code. And so you'll put that in, and then you can start those specific questions that we've created for you, and you can complete the assignment that way. Back to practicing though, there's also some other things that you can do in this section. So you can do interview roulette. So if you just want to practice some random questions and just get better at interviewing, and there's really nothing specific that you're interviewing for, you can click this, and it'll just populate a bunch of different questions for you to practice. And when you're practicing, this person will... Why are you interested in working for this company? This person will ask you the question, and then from here, because I'm recording right now, my webcam is not available, but you'll be able to record yourself answering these questions. And that's the same for any of the practice interviews that you do on Big Interview. You can also go to this answer builder, so it can help you answer and think about how to answer some of specific questions. Like this one is for a behavioral question. So when you give an example, think of using STAR. So set the situation, talk about the task, the approach, and the results that came from that situation. So this is a really good use when you, again, want to practice some of these specific answers. And then lastly, what I was talking about here for practice interviews, you can go through all of the questions. So like I said, I like to look up questions for mock interviews. Same way you can look up specific questions for an interview that's coming up. So let's do general questions. Here's a list of all the general questions that are on, not all of them, but there's a list of questions that are general in terms of career change. There's a lot of different questions here that you can find that are very specific. So this is just for you to kind of browse around types of questions that are most commonly seen in different types of industries. Okay, so next, we have My Videos, which is where you will find all of your recorded videos here. I haven't recorded any myself. Again, I only use Big Interview for looking up questions, but when you start practicing on Big Interview, this is where you can find all of your questions from the mock interviews that you've done. There's also a My Resume tab where you can you can build up your resume, and you can also look at some lesson videos about best practices for building your resume and what you should really be thinking about when creating your own resume. All right, and like I said, there's an assignments tab, and this is often where we will have the assignments located for certain courses that we're involved in. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of Big Interview. There's a lot of different fun things that you can do through this platform that can really help you prepare for not just interviewing, but resume, job searching, all kinds of different things. So I would really highly suggest not just using this platform for interviewing, though it's absolutely fantastic for that. I would also really encourage you to look through some of these lesson plans and kind of learn a bit more about career preparation and different skills that you can really gain through this as well. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact us at careerservices@umkc.edu, or if you are a Block student, you can contact the Block Career Center at blockcareernet@umkc.edu.